Sorry. Come on. This is Umokure, one of the villages that make up the Aluu clan. All efforts to make people around recount the experiences of October 5th, 2012 have proved abortive. They all claim they were not around when the incident took place, saying they just moved here.
I'm not residing in this area. I just came to visit my friend.
I just came here last year, sir. I wasn't around.
How come everybody around here just came here?
You know, the place was, according to what I heard, they said the place was kind of dried. Everyone that was here moved out. So just last year, like, people, by then I was in Lagos actually.
The police spokesperson in Port Harcourt did not speak to our crew. He said he needed clearance from his superiors to do so.
Love changes everything, hands and faces, earth and sky. Love changes everything, how you live and how you die.
Painful as this incident was to the families and the community, there is still no closure 3 years since the incident. The perpetrators are yet to be brought to justice.
The client we took to represent is called Mr. Joshua Ikpoyi. He was a final year student of the University of Port Harcourt at the time of the unfortunate incident of the Aluu students, the Uniport students thing, now popularly called Aluu 4. And that was in 2012, at about October. Now what happened is that here is a young man who was arrested from the number that the police themselves admitted. If you see the proof of information which is filed in court, the police witnesses who are police officers themselves, I mean the prosecution witnesses who are police officers themselves, stated that on the day of that incident, there were not less than 2,000 to 3,000 individuals at the site. Let's say commencing from the early hours of the morning, I think about 4 or 5 a.m. thereabout, when these young men were apprehended and were being paraded around the Omuokere, Aluu community, until they were, unfortunately, they met their death at the Borough Pit somewhere in the same Aluu community. There were not less than 2,000 to 3,000 people. But how come there are only about 12 persons standing trial? Where are the others? If there were hundreds of people, it was clearly a mob action. And how do you identify them? We understand from the prosecution that they had to, certain persons took photographs of the events at the material time they were taking place and uploaded them on YouTube, onto YouTube. And the police themselves said they were able to identify most of these individuals from the photographs they saw on YouTube. Now, if you saw just a few persons, where are the hundreds of other people?
Getting to know about it took a little while because when it happened, nobody informed us immediately. People were running around the area until we got, by the time we heard about it, it happened very early in the morning. By the time we heard about it, it was almost about 9 a.m. in the morning. And so that was the initial problem we faced. But once we got to know that 4 of our students were murdered in such a gruesome situation, we engaged the relevant agencies, the police, government, Federal Ministry of Education, National Universities Commission, and other federal government agencies responsible.
I regret it. I will never send my other boys or any of my relations to that school. I won't. Because the school authority would have done something too. You hear your students, your pupils are being beaten up. It couldn't do anything.
For friends and former classmates of the slain undergraduates, they vow to remain friends and never forget them, especially because of the circumstances that led to their death.
As students, the best we could do as of then, and was to bring the whole thing to the public domain, and because it was an heinous act, what we did was that we used the media effectively in asking that such barbaric act that was committed in that community, or more to be precise, and that those who were involved in the killing of those 4 promising youngsters should be brought to justice. And thereafter, I have been, as a person, I have been also following up the matter in the court. We cannot bring back to life these young ones that has been killed, but what we could do is that to bring up an advocacy to prevent such occurrence of this magnitude again around the vicinities of University of Port Harcourt or anywhere, elsewhere. You see, because when you fail to speak up against such acts, it could also be replicated in other schools.
Well, I'm very satisfied when even the IG went on air and said that these boys were innocent. That they were innocent, they were not thieves, they were not cultists, they didn't go to steal anything. As a matter of fact, I was personally there to carry their dead body, their lifeless bodies to the ambulance. I didn't see any evidence, as laptop or phone. I didn't see anything. But what about the phones of the boys? I mean, the phones they were carrying. I didn't see any of them too. So who was the thief? The community, the vigilante, or the boys? I don't know.
He wanted to finish school early, get married early. He wanted to get married early, I like to walk. When I walk around the house, I say, Mommy, you walk too much. Don't worry. When I finish, when I'm through, everything will be fine. You won't have to be, stressing yourself all that, because it's like our life. It's like, and at his age, 18, year 2 in the university, he was where he's supposed to be. I mean, he never disappointed us. He was moving. He was doing very well. He was very bright, very intelligent. You could look at you and make a portrait of you as you're sitting down there. When he was doing music, we didn't know, because we were always telling him, focus on your studies, no side attractions. You see, when he's in the house, earpiece in his ear, he's always listening to music all the time. If he's moving around, he's listening to music.
They are dead and they are gone. Never given the chance to speak for themselves, never given the chance to defend themselves, never given the chance to even face justice as to know what may have, come out should they have been arraigned before a court of law.
Kisses on my cheek. Our things together. He's asking for 100 naira all the time for airtime. Every time he doesn't ask more than 100 naira. He says, Mommy, buy me airtime. What do you do with airtime? Okay, now just buy me 100 naira airtime.
One by one, from Ugonna to Chiadika, Lloyd to Tekena, right here, like a sheep led before slaughter, they fell to the cold hands of angry youth of Omokri. Although the town will be deserted and the case still in court, the affected parents pray that justice is served in time so that the dead can finally rest in peace.
On down. Carry that side, carry that side. Carry.
Father of the boy, please go near the grave. Oration. Okay, stay clear, please. Step aside. Oration.
Your mother and I love you so very much.
Stop it.
I love you so very much. We wanted you to leave. We actually wanted you to leave. But God didn't want it like that. That's the Lord. Lord, we have handed everything into the hands of God. May your soul Rest peacefully.
The Aluu community is waiting for justice to be served, but the fact remains that the 4 young men brutally murdered here can never be brought back. It is impossible to document in this report all the feelings expressed by residents of this community. But I have composed this poem to capture their thoughts. Like the Messiah, they were accused wrongly. Like the Great Berlin Wall, they fell with heads bowed. With their hopes, dreams, aspirations all fading away, they were led like criminals in their righteousness. They were not judged, but were sentenced by the real offenders. They fell while they clutched on dreams, bleak, bleak dreams. If change is inevitable, why did Omokri chase it with wood, petrol and lighter? The social media is active, but in their time, death came calling for a moment. They waited for a savior, like their rickety nation. No one showed up. Like the candlelight, they melt away by the second, with their pride shattered, destiny unfulfilled, and their talent stolen. The Aluu 4. They died naked, but were not ashamed.
Yeah. It feels like I stood there watching the pain and the brutal torture, and added my silence to the violent screams of burn and torture. How do you earn this fortune, or does it come unbidden? If life's a painted portrait, who puts dark colors in them? If there is a God in heaven, surely he's weeping now, as all the blood is shedding, as all these people drown. God help us all. Rest in peace, Chidi. Rest in peace, Lloyd. Rest in peace, Tekena. Rest in peace, Ugona.
Now it's been more than 3 years, and the people say there seems to be no justice in sight. The family say they will hold on to the memories of their sons and that they don't trust the justice system to work for them in this case. They wonder aloud and ask whether the sins of their sons were so grievous to have merited being murdered in cold blood. No one is answering their question. Meanwhile, the community and the school seems to have moved on. The family is a part of the community, but will they be able to move on like the community? They express fears that the case will drag on for a very long time. Join us again next time on TVC News Investigates. Thanks for watching. I'm Ni Wilo.